Hey, what is up, guys? It is Card Shuffler 99 here, and today we are going to be revealing a part of Shin Lim's performance on Penn and Teller. Now, if you didn't know, this is actually Shin Lim's breakout performance. Basically, this is where he came on Penn and Teller for the first time and really shocked the world with his style of magic, and that is using music, not talking, and just letting the magic sort of speak for itself. So we're going to be revealing the bag change part of his trick and then how he ends up making the cards disappear at the end. We're not going to go through the entire performance here. If you guys want us to reveal different aspects of the trick, feel free to let us know in the comment section. But we did get a lot of requests to teach the bag part of the trick because a lot of people were actually confused on this specific part, and I think this is a really powerful part of the trick. Now, keep in mind here, this is something that's going to involve duplication, okay? So you're actually not saying for real, but what actually happened in the performance here is that the assistant or one of the assistants he had was actually in on the trick. Now, I'm not here to make that sound bad. I'm not here to trash Shin Lim, but he is going to have her card duplicated. So he's going to have more than one of those cards, and you will actually be able to see this with this reveal. And if you go back to watch the performance of the bag change, you can see that we're actually right here that he is going to have a duplicated card with the signature on it. So that would have to imply that one of the spectators was in on the trick here, making sure that she signed the card the same way she did prior to the trick starting. So we're going to get into how exactly he did it. We'll explain a little bit into how you guys can do it at home, because obviously I know a lot of you guys aren't going to be able to duplicate a spectator signature during the trick, because that's not what Shin Lim did. He had to basically talk to the spectator before the trick started. So we'll explain to you guys how he did it first, the entire part, and then we'll talk to you guys about how you guys can bring it back home, okay? So once again, this is just a reveal here. If you want more parts of Shin Lim's performance, feel free to comment that down below.
All right, so to pick up from this part, basically what he has here is he has a double face card. So this is double face card. It's just 9 of spades, 8 of diamonds, and you're going to have another duplicate of one of the sides. Now, this is just for the bag part of the trick. So what's going to happen here is he's going to have this double face card, and he's going to have this card inside the bag with the, not the duplicate card, with the other card face up. And this card's just going to be inside the bag, sitting here. And then this card from the part he picked off of will be in his mouth. Now, these are signed, but remember, he did have it signed before the trick even started. You know, the assistant was in on the trick. So from here, what's going to happen is he's going to change this card into the 9 of spades. But before he does that, he's just going to turn this card over, and it's just going to stay there like this. Now, what's happening here is when he changes this card, he's going to be flipping over the bag. Now, because this card is a double backer, what's going to happen is all he has to do is flip over the bag. So once he flips over the bag, it will change the card. So how he does this is he's holding the bag like this with his index finger and thumb, and his middle finger will be behind the bag here. And what he's going to do is he's going to flick the bag up. So when he flicks the bag up, he's going to change his grip by putting his thumb on top and moving his index finger behind the bag and turning it over like that. So basically, this is all in the motion of flicking this bag up. He's going to be turning this bag over like that. So that is the move he's going to do to change the 8 of diamonds into this card right here. So he's holding it like this. He flicks it up. While it's flipped up, he's turning it over like this. And on the way back down, it changes into the other card. Now from here, this card is just flipped over. He's just holding on to it. So what he's going to do is he's going to change this card back into the 8 of diamonds. Now how he does this is he simply just grabs onto the card, and while he reveals this card, all he's going to do is he's going to cover up the card so you can't see it anymore. So you can't see it's the 9 of spades anymore. So he covers it up, and what he's going to do is he's going to turn this over. And when he turns it over, he's changing it back into the original card, which is the 8 of diamonds. And he's going to flip this over, and it's going to stay the same card as it always was, which was the 9 of spades. So we're going to run through that one more time really quick. So he has this card face down. He's holding on to it. And what he's going to do is he has the 8 of diamonds. He's going to put in the bag. It's a double face card. He flicks it up while it's in the air. He's going to switch his grip, bring his index finger behind the bag. This is all while the bag's in the air. Quickly turn it over, and on the way back down, it's going to change it to the 9 of spades. From here, he's just going to grab onto the card like that. Make sure that the card is covered up, because you don't want to be flashing it and then just turn it over and turns it to the 8 of diamonds. You want to make sure it's covered up. Then you're going to turn it over, show that it actually changed back to the 8 of diamonds, and this card changed back to the 9 of spades.
Now, really quick, guys, I do want to address something. So keep in mind here that in the actual performance, this 9 of spades here and this 9 of spades here are going to have the same duplicated signature. So that's what I meant when I said that whoever signed the duplicate is going to be in on the trick. Whoever signed this single card right here on the other side is not in on the trick. This is going to be a normal spectator. So just keep in mind, we didn't sign these cards, but they would have matching signatures. Now, if you guys wanted to perform this at home, you can go through the same actual routine. You just wouldn't be able to sign the cards. So that's the only difference, because obviously you can't duplicate your spectator signature unless you had this being your signature. So if you wanted to do this with signatures, you could have one spectator sign this, and you could have your own signature on here, duplicate your own signature, and that would work like that. But we are here because a lot of you guys did request that you wanted to know how this specific part was done. Sorry to tell you, he did actually use a duplicated signature, but that's just the reality of the situation. But anyway, let's get straight into how he's going to now basically eliminate these 2 cards here, and he's going to make them disappear.
So what he's going to do at this point is he's going to take the cards out of the bag, and he's just going to put them behind each other. Now, clearly, this would be the 8 of diamonds, not the 9 of spades. And he's just going to put them behind each other like this. And what he's going to do is he's going to fake put these cards into the bag. So what he's doing here is he's just going to square the cards up, and he's going to act like he's putting the cards in the bag. Really, all he's doing is he's just slipping the cards right behind the bag like that, just to make the cards look like they're inside the bag. Now, I'm just going to show you guys how to do this move with one card here, just to make it simple. But once he fake puts the card inside the bag, he's going to grab the corner of the card with his index finger and middle finger here, and then he's going to grab the other corner of the card with his other hand. Now, here is what the move basically is in slow motion. All he's doing is he's bringing this side of the card back to his hand like this, and he's gonna grab the card right here between his thumb and palm of his hand. And what he's going to do is he's going to grab the card there, and he's going to come back around like this. So basically, it's an angle-sensitive move here. So he can't be like this, or else they can see the card. But what's happening is he's bringing this corner of the card back behind his hand like this. And then what he's going to do is he's going to leave these 2 fingers here to cover this card right here, so they can't see it. And this is what everyone else sees out there. They don't see anything. And then from here, what you're going to notice is he's going to bring his hand down. And what's going to happen is he's going to palm this card off. So when he removes the bag from his hand, he's going to palm this card off. And you'll notice, you guys have a better angle, you guys can see on top. But you're going to notice he slams his hand down and back. And what's happening here is he's just dropping off the cards behind the table like that, and then showing his hands empty-handed. And that's what he does to get rid of the cards and make them disappear.
So guys, that is just simply the bag change part of this trick. Now, something that I personally love doing when I piece apart a Shin Lim trick, especially the one he did on Penn and Teller, is that there's so many little subtleties to the trick. Now, keep in mind, we know that in terms of when we're watching the actual video, the spectator on our left or on his right is actually the one in on the trick. Now, you notice that this specific spectator is the only spectator who's actually exposed to the moves. You notice if he has 2 spectators on either side of him, it is going to be that, especially that move right there where he's changing it, the spectator on his right can actually see all these moves, but it doesn't matter because the spectator is in on the trick. But the spectator who's to his left and who's, basically blindsided to this actual move, he actually places everything perfectly to actually make sure that the real spectator, the actual one who's not in on the trick, actually doesn't see any of the moves, but he doesn't care what the other one sees because she's obviously she's already in on the trick. But guys, that's just the bag change. You can see there's so many little subtleties to his performance. If you guys want to request any other little parts of his performance, feel free to let us know down in the comment section. But this was just one of the little bits of the trick that you guys requested. We got a lot of requests for the bag change. So anyway, guys, that is how he did it. And this is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out, guys.